What's going on, guys? It's Red Bandit here, and as you all know, I'm super excited about the Grand Theft Auto Trilogy Definitive Edition, which should be releasing very soon. And so in today's video, I want to talk to you guys about some things that the Definitive Edition should include, that Rockstar Games, hopefully, if they took some initiative, have decided to add to the game. Now, towards the end of the video, that's where I'm going to get into some more of maybe, shall we say, the controversial opinions about what I think should be added to the game. But this first half of the video is just going to be stuff that I know that most of the community is going to really enjoy having in the game. So first of all, the control schemes really need to change. Now, I personally think, and I've discussed previously in another video, that I think there should be a radio wheel and a weapon wheel added to all three titles, GTA 3, Vice City, and San Andreas. Honestly, cycling through your weapons one by one is just such an outdated system that it just doesn't really make sense to keep that in the game. It's really clunky. If you want to access maybe your sniper rifle, sometimes you've got to cycle through like endless amounts of weapons before you can get to it, and if you're in a critical position where you're getting shot at by enemies and stuff, it can just make it really clunky and a bad experience overall. What would be really nice with the new Unreal Engine that they're using to port these games over is adding a weapon wheel and a radio station wheel, similar to what we've seen in GTA 5, which maybe even also slows down time when you're using it. Now, this isn't actually that far-fetched, because in GTA Vice City there's these small pill icons you can pick up on the map, and if you actually walk into them, it can slow down time. So I think that's definitely something Rockstar Games could add. Another thing I've noticed is that when you're using like the M16, any of the assault rifles, or maybe even the M60 machine gun in Vice City and so on, when you're aiming with those guns, you for some reason get forced into first person, which is just really clunky and awful. Now, I'm aware that there is an auto lock-on feature for these weapons on the mobile ports, so on and so forth, but honestly, this feature really needs to go. What we really need to see is a much more up-to-date control scheme, similar to how responsive GTA 5's control scheme is, where when using these kind of weapons, you're not forced into first person. Instead, it's a really responsive and accurate control scheme from behind your character in third person instead. That would be really cool. Another thing is when you're driving in Vice City and GTA 3, for some reason you can't move your camera around, which is really awful, and hopefully Rockstar Games decide to add the ability to have a free camera while driving. As we know, GTA San Andreas did have this feature, much more smooth, very efficient, works really well. I don't see why that can't be added to the game. Another thing I want to touch up on is the fact that there's going to be some removed content from before the games were even released that maybe could be added to the game. There was some cut content out of GTA 3, Vice City and San Andreas that never actually made it even to the PlayStation 2 releases when the games first came out well over a decade ago. So hopefully Rockstar Games take it upon their initiative to maybe dig through some of their old files and maybe re-add some of the old cut content just for a treat. For some of us, I know some of us would really greatly appreciate some of the cut content added back to the game that we never actually got to see. I'd also like to see maybe some extra music being added to the radio stations. Now, we know that a lot of the music licensing for these games is actually running out and has already run out, which means that we might not actually get to hear Michael Jackson on the radio and other awesome artists that made the games as atmospheric and involving as they did. Hopefully Rockstar Games have re-licensed the music and maybe they've added extra music, which would be really cool. I hope there's a few new radio stations. They don't even necessarily have to have DJs, like, you know, they don't have to have got in voice actors to do whole new radio work. You know, this game's supposed to be a report, a remaster, so we're not expecting anything major being added to the game, but honestly, just expand the music library that it already has. Vice City has some of the best music, so why not just add more music to the game? If it's possible, then I don't see why not. I don't see why they wouldn't want to do that anyway. Another thing I want to see added to the game is a replay mission ability. Now, we've seen on the leaked achievement list, and I'm not going to give away any spoilers here, but there are achievements that can be missed through certain story missions. So what would be really good is if Rockstar Games decide to add a replay mission ability where you can go to the start menu and replay missions there and then. That would be really, really awesome and help a lot of us from missing any of those achievements. Another thing that would be pretty cool is maybe taking the ability to have an auto-save option as well as a manual save. So the game does back up your game and auto-save every now and then, but of course it won't override your manual save slot. So you can save the game manually whenever you want and always access that save file, but also having a quick save would be really, really awesome. As we know, GTA 5 had a quick save option in the phone. Now finally, I'm going to get into something that's pretty controversial, shall I say. I know we're not going to have a completely from the ground to the top remastered game. They're not remaking the games, they're remastering them. They're not building them from the ground up, they're porting them, an existing game, upgrading them, and then releasing them as a definitive edition. I want a simple free roam multiplayer mode. Now I'm not asking for 12 players, 15 players, 30 players, 60 players. You know, up to 4 is good enough for me. 2 people is good enough for me. Just allow me to play the game in a free roam mode with no missions, just the world, the police, pickups available, and just explore the world with my friends in a free roam lobby. Now that is not very far-fetched to actually ask for. I'm not asking for GTA Online where you build a character and buy houses. We know that's never going to happen. I'd love to drive around San Andreas with my friend and just, you know, just mess around. I know it's probably going to be like a bit of novelty, you know, it'll probably get pretty boring after, you know, the first hour of playing it. But just having it there as an option and also to help make videos with would be really cool as well. There is a lot of opportunity for people to create things in the community and utilize the editor. And honestly, it would just be a really nice touch for them to add it, considering the PC mode has replay mode and GTA 5 has the director mode. Having a mix between the two would be really awesome. And at least give us a screenshot creator where we can change the camera angle, move the camera freely. Let me know what you guys think. I think we're going to get some news tomorrow from Rockstar Games, probably, considering the games have been taken off of the storefront for a lot of places across the world now, which just means that Rockstar Games are probably going to give us information tomorrow. So if you're excited about that, then let me know, and I'll see you guys in a later video. So adios.